Hey everyone, Deb Mishima here. Yeah, so I did the Santa class the other day. Adorable little Santas. But I just checking in the group here. But I'm not really happy about the actual lesson. The way the Santas turned out, of course, I'm thrilled with because they're so darn cute. But made a mistake the very beginning, and then it just kind of went down here from there. It was kind of disjointed, and I don't know. I just didn't think it was a very good lesson, and just my little OCD in me just it bugs me. So I'm gonna redo it, and I'm gonna remove the other one because it just bugs me. So yeah, so I'm on today to redo this adorable little Santa lesson, and then I'm gonna put the new file up for it. So I'm just gonna turn you around so you can see what we're doing here. Hang. Okay, ready? I'm just gonna switch this over here. Everybody gets sick. For some reason, when I go live, I end up having to do this. Let me see how. Oh, oops. Slanty butt. Okay, just moving everything over. Okay. So here's our pieces. Here's our finished Santa. I'm just gonna stick him up there. I'm just gonna go ahead and base coat everything first. I will put up in the new file the color that I am base coating with, just so everybody knows ahead of time. See which brush I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this one. Hi, Mary. Who's here? Hi, Phyllis and Brenda. And Mary and Kathy and Chris. Yeah, I am. For those that have come on, I am redoing this lesson. I just was not happy with the other one. So you get a better look at the lesson. Oh, I better turn this down, actually. Okay. So this is the beard, and I am doing this in bleach sand. And it's just Deco Art bleach sand. I am switching over a lot of my colors to folk art. Not only do I really like their colors, but I also find, but we just have a heck of a time getting them here in Canada. So I'm switching over to folk art. I will, if I use a folk art color, I will always put the Deco Art color, substitute color in the instructions, just so everybody knows. I think I'm going to use this to do it. Just because if I use these, it's less likely I am to get it on the sides, and I actually want to keep the sides paint-free if I can. So I'm going to use my little brush, my little makeup sponge, and just pat them all on. When I get up to the edge, though, I'm going to use my brush because I want a nice clean edge on here. And you can use whatever you're most comfortable using. I'm happy and I'm comfortable using both, so that's what I'm going to do. But please just use whatever brush or sponge or method you are most happy using or most comfortable using. So that's just the bottom part. This is the face, the brim of the cap, and this is the cap. So I'm just going to put this there while the first coat dries a little bit, and I'm going to do the second coat. Now I'm going right over the nose here because it's going to be quite similar to the color that I'm actually doing the nose, so I'm not worried about it. But you can see how the sides on this are staying quite clean, and that's, for this particular piece, that's what I want. I often do paint down the sides, but this one I didn't want to. Again, this is with bleach sand. I'm just going to give these a quick dry. Hi, Virginia. Hey, Deanna. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. The other night was one of those nights, and just kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. So I thought, you know what? I just got to redo the lesson. So, hope you enjoy this one more. This one will be a lot more easier to watch back than the other one. And again, this is bleach sand. I think I'm going to add another coat on here. Now I am dipping my sponge in just a little bit of water. Just wanted to pick up a little bit of water. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. And again, it depends on how thick, hi Rosemary, how heavy you do your first coat. You may not need to do another coat. I am actually live in the group, not on Zoom. And when you're live in the group, everything is reversed, just so you know. With this piece, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Actually, not even sure why. Hi, Arlene. Everything is reversed on live, but it is. So if I try to put up something with printing on it, it's going to be, yeah, reversed. See, weird. I don't go live usually for a class. I usually go through Zoom, but this time I went through live. Okay, now I'm going to base coat these. We're going to get these all done. I'm going to use light buttermilk for the nose and the face. And I want a little brush for this. So I'm going to use my 3/8 inch angle. Sorry. Oops. And this is with light buttermilk. See, it looks like I'm left-handed, doesn't it, in here? I'm not. A little bit of paint there. How are you guys down in for those in the States? I know how the people from Canada are. It's freezing cold up here. How is everybody down there? We had, where I live, either end of our town has huge lakes. We're surrounded by huge lakes. And it's an event, and I'm not sure what it's called. They call it an event, where the cold in the air and the cold in the lake make something. It actually looks like huge tornadoes of smoke coming off the lake, but it is steam coming off the lake. And since our lakes are miles and miles and miles and miles long, it looks like there's this big, like the lake's on fire almost. It's crazy. This is the nose. Oh, you know what? I don't want to get it on the sides. So I'm also going to do it in using my sponge. Oh, my sponges. Where's my sponges? I just had them. Oh no, I don't see my sponges, so I'm going to use this. I'll just be careful. Yeah, it's crazy. And I know it's cold in some of the states too. Freezing cold in Ohio, snow and high winds. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Darlene. Dallas, I know, it's like crazy. I mean, we really need, I don't know where you are, but if we don't get a lot of snow this winter, we're going to be in terrible shape for fires and everything. So next spring and summer. So I'm hoping we get quite a bit. It really can stay on the hills, so I don't care if it's not down here. Anybody in like a real warm area like Las Vegas, Florida? I'm just wondering how cold it is there. If they're experiencing the same things. I see on the news California's been having a lot of flooding and so that's the nose and the face, and they're again done in light buttermilk. Now the brim of the cap is done in antique white. Body. Here we are. Antique white. It is so cold here. You know how you have these days where, you just wish you could lounge around in your jammies all day or your comfies. And I am. That's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. So I'm in my Christmas comfies today. So again, this is the brim of the cap, and it is done in antique white. Apparently the weather in Clearwater, Florida is crappy. So this is antique white. I'm only going to need to do one coat on this. And you have to use whatever style or size and kind of brush that you are most comfortable with. I always shade with an angle brush, always shade with an angle brush. If I have an edge, an inner edge like this, I will base coat around it usually with an angle, just because I like to really make sure I do it perfectly. I got a hair in there. Oh, you know what? I cut my bangs earlier. And I wonder if I'm having little pieces fall off me. Probably. Okay. We're just going to dry this off. Now the brim of the cap is done in Rookwood Red. If you don't have Rookwood Red, use Heritage Brick Deep Burgundy. Just a nice color that you are used to. I used Rookwood Red. I can't wait to, I'm not going to use my Deco acrylics right now. I want to match up the colors with the Deco art as much as I can first, just so that I can give you the colors to use in Deco art for those that are Deco art painters. Again, this is just the base coating. I think your brain is frozen. Yeah, I tell you, it certainly was, wasn't it, on Thursday, Deb? Ugh, it's my friend Deb Antonick being supportive. She's cutting out, hopefully, aren't you, Deb? All my pieces. So I can have a bunch of kits ready after next week's lesson, because I'll be introducing February's classes next week. And then I won't have to introduce new kits until the middle of February for the March lesson. I'm trying to just do the new ones once a month for you. I got a little bit of red just right here on this. So just going to dab on just a little bit of that. Okay, so everything is base coated for the Santa. I'm just going to base coat our little holly leaf. Now I used aloe for it, and then I shaded it with Hauser Medium Green. If you're not an aloe lover, you don't have aloe. So this is the color I used for this. If you don't, go ahead and use celery green. It's such a pretty color, so either will do. Now, first I'm going to do the berries. So the berries are done in Rookwood Red. And again, if you don't have it, use the closest, really nice deep red that you have. Some people have a different red that they like to do their berries in, and that's fine. I use Rookwood Red. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this aloe. And just going to give a light coat to this. And this is for the leaves. Again, if you don't have aloe, go ahead, use celery green. Just take a look at your stock, see what kind of nice pretty greens that you have that you think would look good on a leaf like this. You can even look at pictures of holly. Holly is actually quite a deep green, but I kind of like to do them a little bit lighter. The class was so much fun on Thursday. Oh, yes. Because you put 10:30 p.m. on the post above this live. Did I really? I put 10:30 p.m.? Oh, I did. Well, that would be wrong. Oh, that's why Deb says my brain is frozen. I think it's just automatic, right? I always put p.m. because I'm always having afternoon classes. Oh, sorry about that, everybody. I can't go in and change it either right now because I'm doing this lesson. If anybody thinks I'm coming on at 10:30 at night and doing a lesson, I am not. Now, I'm just going to go give this nose one more little base coat. Just another little layer. Because I want it to look good. So these are all base coated. I can just put everything over here. Okay, now we're going to, so the Santa comes, oops. The Santa comes all scored, so it's so easy to paint, to do all the shading and everything because that tells you exactly where you have to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is now, I went from here and I jumped right into fawn. If you're not comfortable jumping shades quickly, you can go from this to either desert sand or antique white and then finish it off with fawn. Especially if you're a heavy shader. If you're a light shader, you can go ahead and just use fawn. So for the benefit of everybody here, I'm going to do two. I'm going to do antique white and then fawn. However, you can, if you are a light shader, you can go directly to fawn. So, but I'm going to do both just so everybody can see how it's done. Just going to get my handy dandy shader out, and I do like to shade with this. So this is, oh, to wash this handle. So this is Chris's 1/2-inch angle brush. Love this brush. I have like 10 of them because I never want to run out. So first I'm going to take antique white. Again, you can jump right to fawn if you want. I'm doing antique white just to show everybody if they want to do it in 2 stages. So first of all, I'm just going to go under all the score lines first. And you can see how I just kind of dance my brush. I don't do one straight line or solid line. I dance it up. I start out just out from the score line and dance my way to the score line. So again, you do not have to do this first step. You can jump right to using fawn as your shading color. But I wanted to show this for the people who are more comfortable doing it in 2 stages. And I'm going to do this one. I'm going to go, whoops, under these, again, score lines. And just dancing this brush a little bit. Always just picking up a little bit of water when I want it. Now, I barely touch. I'm a very, very light and soft painter. So I am not heavy with my brush on my surface. I'm very light with my brush on the surface. Now I'm going to go to the side of this. So I'm just going to start and go on the right side of each score line. And this way I'm not smudging any of the lines. And then just while that one's drying, I'm going to do this. Again, I'm still with antique white. Now you can look. If you're wondering how I knew which side to do it on, you can always look at the picture that is with the file, just to see how I knew which one are the ones that stand up and which ones are the layers behind. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm looking to see, because it's hard to remember. And I want to do it exactly the same way and not change that part up for you. It is icing here in Oregon, raining ice. Oh, I hate ice rain. So again, I'm just sticking with the right sides first. Of all of the layers. And I'm still with antique white. Now that's left. No, put a little bit there. Okay, now I'm going to come to this and I'm going to do down the left side. And this way you just don't smudge any, and you always, missed this one. And you never have to sit there and go, oh, which side am I doing now? Did I do that? So I always start underneath, left, right. So now I'm doing the left side. You're not perfect. Sometimes you miss it, especially with a lot of score lines like this. I'm looking just to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Okay, now I'm going to do the left side of this one. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to use the antique white. See, I can tell when I go back that I had missed a couple, so I'm just doing them now. So again, this is antique white, and I'm doing this just for people who aren't as good with a fast contrast, or better with maybe doing a couple of different shades to get the color that you want, especially if you're a heavier shader. I'm just looking, making sure that I have got all these. I'm going to go around this nose. And when you're doing this nose is covered. So if you come up into the nose a little bit, it's fine. I kind of do it because then I know that my shading around the nose is really good. Okay. I'm going to just make sure these are dry. And that I've done all the areas that I was supposed to do. Yeah, I think so. Can always correct it or add more of the shading if I need to anywhere. Now I'm going to use the fawn just to deepen this shading. And you know what? You don't, if you've already done the antique white, you may not need to do this fawn in as many places. So just kind of check your shading and see where you might like it a little bit deeper. I'm going to go deeper into these little bends or angles here, but maybe not quite so deep in other spots. I'm just looking at it as I paint to see where I need some extra, where I know I'm going to need some extra shading. I'll do a little bit under here, a little bit under here. And you don't have to do it heavy. This is a second coat, so it absolutely no reason to have to do this second one. If you're doing it really heavy, you can just do it lightly. Or just deepening this, but it is on more of a gradual basis. You aren't jumping from from the base coat to a really deep shade quickly. It's a more gradual deepening of the base color. And again, you can kind of pick and choose. And after we put the little mustache on like this, you'll be able to see again if there's any place where you might like to add a little bit more shading. And we can do that with asphaltum too, just in some places where we might like it a little bit darker. Now I'm going to go around the nose with fawn, but I'm going to do my wiggle waggle stroke. So I'm going to lay it really very flat, and I'm going to wiggle waggle this color, my brush, like this, and you can see how it looks like it's given it, fold, more shape, poofier. It's not flat. It actually gives it little creases. And that's just my brush is really very flat, and I'm just wiggle waggling it. It's a very technical term, wiggle waggle. Okay. So there's those two pieces there. Now I'm going to dry them off. Now, I think I've done them dark enough right now, so I'm not going to add any asphaltum to it. If you find yours are still too light, you want to accentuate some places a little bit more, just add a little bit of shading with the asphaltum. It's clearly your choice. You know how you paint. You can see your work. So that is totally up to you. Now I'm going to take some warm white, and I am going to highlight the opposite side of the shading as the shading. So I'm just going to use my angle brush again, and along the bottom. Now, you'll see when I do this, I start out quite far and then dance my brush to the edges. So again, I'm starting out and dancing my brush to the edges. Now this is how I mean, you may have been taught something different. You may like to do it a different way. This is how I do it. Oh, this is going so much easier than the original class. Except for the time that I told everybody to be here for this. Wiggle waggle, do you like wiggle waggle? Now I'm just seeing where this is going because I want to make sure that I have the white on properly. I'm going to come to here, and I'm going to go along the bottoms again, starting out, bringing it in. And I'm trying not to, I'm avoiding where I have shaded. And we are going to be dry brushing too, so there will be more white added if you think that it's still a little bit too dark or not enough of a contrast. Don't worry, we're going to be dry brushing too. But yeah, I love how when I wiggle waggle my brush that it gives these creases around it. You really can't make too much of a mistake with this. If you do something and, you go, not really happy with that or whatever, just add more shading or add a little bit of pounce a little bit of the base coat color back on. Okay, so that was just around the bottom. I'm going to do the sides too. And again, I'm going to do them with warm white because I will be base coating with Snow White. So again, I got my warm white, and so the this is the part that is shaded to show that this is under this one. So I am going along this edge. Just to add to that it's really is on top. And again, you can see I'm dancing my brush to the edge. And I am picking up water a lot when I do this. Just so that my brush stays at the right dampness. down here. Now I'm just going to see if there's any of the other side. So I did all the right sides. Now I'm going to just check on any left sides that I may have. I think that's fine on that one. And I'm going to do this one. Feels so much better redoing this class. Hope everybody is good with that. And I'm going to take the old one down. Drives me crazy. Okay. Now I'm just going to dry these off. I'm going to take my pouncer. Which one I've got? Which one will do? This one will do. And I'm going to take Snow White. And I'm going to pounce a little bit of shading on here. And this again is with Snow White. And I'm pouncing it on. I am not dry brushing it on because I like how it kind of gives almost like a snowy covered beard effect. And I'm not worrying about if I go over some of the shading with this. If I went over it too much, I can always add a little bit more shading back onto it. But you can see how it gives kind of a, you know, covered with snowy effect, which I really liked. There, so you can see how it softens it up. Now at this point, you may go, if you've done it too much, just dry this, and then you can add a little bit more shading if you want, or a little bit, even a little bit of just asphaltum shading here and there, just to bring some of it back. I'm actually fine with this. I like it, but I'm going to take my liner, make sure I've got the right one, and I'm going to take Fawn, and I'm going to add some lines first around the nose, little crease lines like this, fold lines. And I'm using Chris's 10-aught liner. And I will put the code back up in the group. I'm trying to do it once a week so that people can get 10% off their entire order at Covered Distributing now, which will really help with the shipping cost. I'm going to add just a few little ones down here. Oh, that's not a little one. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And now I wanted to add, you'll see here on this one, see how I've added these little lines, irregular lines. I put little cross hatches on them. They're just there to add more interest to the beard and mustache. I'm just going to add them. They're broken. They're irregular. I didn't want anything perfect about them. I just kind of wiggled them on. Just use a really light stroke with your brush. Don't press heavy. The heavier you are, the thicker your line is going to be. And we just want some really fine lines. You don't have to do it on every one if you want. You can just do it here and there on them. And I never do it the same twice, I have to say. Like literally never do it the same twice. So as you can see, I've just added a little bit there. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit down the side. And again, I am wiggling these lines. They're broken, they're irregular. Just adds a little bit more interest to the piece. You can use little X's or cross hatches, whatever your fancy is. So you can look at my piece and follow it exactly. It's completely up to you. I was just a really horrible bad girl, and I abused my brushes the last time. I had all my brushes ready to wash, and I don't know, I got busy or I did something. Anyway, I forgot about them, and I'm still trying to get them really, you know, clean and back to the way they were. I'm going to end up having to order new ones from Chris just because I think I've wrecked a few of these brushes, which is too bad. What color are you using for the broken lines? Oh, sorry, fawn. Yeah, I'm just using fawn again for the broken lines. I didn't want them too dark. These are just, you know, kind of accent lines like that. Okay, now after I did this, I'm just going to make sure these are dry before I do the other thing. Oh, not that one. Duh. Okay. Now I took my vintage photo. Come here. And I took, now this is from the grunge stamp set, but it's just a really very small script. And I just put the corner of it on here and I added and I stamped just lightly in a few spots. Not each one, just a few of them. I just wanted to add even a little bit more interest to the stamps, to the mustache. But see, just that little bit looks so nice. To figure out where my camera is. Where is my camera? Oh, okay. And so, yeah, again, you can add as little of this. You don't even have to do this. I liked it, so I did it. And I'm going to add a little bit just on the bottom here to some of these. Now, this is going to be covered. All this area is going to be covered. So I'm going to add a little bit here, and I don't care if it goes up onto that part. I'm just checking, making sure that that looks good. But see how it's already coming together so nicely? Now, I am going to splatter this with Snow White. I'm just going to take my denture brush, use your whatever splattering tool you like, or just a regular old toothbrush. If you don't use one of these and you don't use a splattering tool, you use a toothbrush. Try and get the firm ones. They really do make the best. splatterers if you don't have a denture brush. So I'm just going to splatter this. And I'm really flicking it hard because I'm hoping to get some, I want it to be really quite irregular. So you can see, and see there's a little bit of a line there. And yeah, that's exactly what I want. And again, this is with Snow White. Yeah, Murphy's Oil Soap does clean them really well. And I just have to, honestly, because I've been have done so many kits and done so many things, I am a little behind in getting things done. And I will get to them properly. Hopefully I don't have to reorder from Chris. Okay, so that is what we've done so far. Now I'm just going to dry this, and I'm going to check it out. Because I still think I want this mustache a little lighter. I want more highlights in this. So I'm going to, now, and you don't have to do this. I'm doing this just because I think I just did a little bit darker than I like. So I am going to pounce with a little bit of Snow White. I pounced before with warm white, but I think I'm going to pounce here and there with a little bit of this Snow White just to lighten it in areas. And I don't care if I go over some of the shading. Kind of makes it look like he's got a little bit of snow on his beard, but I like that better. I like that it's just, and I don't care that I've gone over a little bit of the stamping. It just softens the stamping up a little bit too. So now I'm going to put this on here and see. Okay, so yeah, so I'm happier with that. But it's completely up to you. You'll know when you paint your piece if you want to lighten something or darken something. And if you want to lighten it, either do warm white or as I did, I'd already used warm white, so I added a little bit of Snow White to it. And if you want to darken it, just add a little bit more of the fawn shade. And if you want it even darker, you can add a little bit of asphaltum shade. I'm going to do the nose and his face now. So with his nose, looking for my brush here. I'm going to shade around it just really softly with antique white. You can use desert sand too. Either will be fine. But I actually want to do it quite softly. I don't want it really a dark shade. So you can see how I've just done it very, very softly. Just dry that up so you can see even better. Otherwise it kind of shines and glistens, but you can see now how I've just softened that up very lightly. And I'm going to do the same thing with his face. Just above his nose and his beard, or his mustache area. Gonna add a little bit of that. Just a little bit here. And again, that is with antique white, or you can use desert sand. Either will do, either will work fine. Dry those off. And then I'm going to do some, put the cheeks on and make the nose all rosy. Now, you can do it two ways. So, you can take Rookwood Red and go right to it and dry brush a little bit on the nose and a little bit on the cheeks. Or if you're a heavy shader, which a lot of people are, you can do it in two steps. So you can use dried clay first. And I'm going to show you how to do it the two-step way, just because a lot of people are heavier shaders. So I'm going to do the two-step way for you. Tell you, I'm hoping that Folk Art has one that looks like dried clay, or I'll be sticking with dried clay. Now I have that little white brush, but I'm wondering if it's upstairs. I haven't cleaned it completely yet. I have so many brushes around here. Oh, here it is. So this brush, this is the Prison Fine Point Blending Brush. This one's the number 10. So a lot of people were looking for this. Apparently you can only get them in Canada. I didn't know that. But anyway, just go on Amazon. They have so many different ones on Amazon. They're not prism, but they're the same. Some of them are rounded, some of them are angled. You can get like a kit, a set of them that have both in them. But this is what I'm using. Deb Antoinette gave me this one. I'm not exactly sure where she got it, but probably from Canadian company. So first I'm going to do it in two steps for you. So first I'm going to use dried clay. I like this color for for shading noses and cheeks and the like. So again, this is dried clay. You can switch. You can go right to Rookwood Red or Heritage Brick or whatever, rosy color that you like, that you normally use for shading. These are just my recommendations and what I use. But if you're a heavy shader, you may want to do it in two layers. So there's his little nose, and I want to carry that up into his cheek area. And I actually don't care if I get a little bit down in this mustache area because it's going to be covered. But I want to bring this up into here a little bit. Just start off soft, and then you can deepen it if you like. So it's going to end up going like this. So now you can take either Rookwood Red, Heritage Brick, whichever color you are more comfortable with, because we're going to deepen this a little bit. And this is like the second stage for those who want to do it in two. So I'm going to just kind of do a little shade on either side of this. And you can see how it just deepens. And I did it very, very, very lightly. So it just very softly deepens it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Like that. Yes, I'm using my finger. Okay, and now I'm going to dry these. And again, you can use whichever color or method you're more comfortable with. I'm just showing you a two contrast method, just so you don't go too dark. Now I want to add a little bit of warm white into the middle of this. Just going to dry brush a little bit on. This is the warm white. I just want to put a little bit in the middle there. Let's get this to dry. Now, after you've dry brushed again, if you find you've lightened it too much or you're not happy with it, you just go back over the shaded area. I'll show you. With your shading color. And then I want to add a little line across it in Snow White, just across the top. Like that. So it's going to go like that. And on here. Like that. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I would like to just add a little bit of a highlight in here with some warm white. So I'm going to take a little bit of my warm white. Now you can do it on an angle brush if you have a really tiny dry brush, you can use that. But I'm just going to take this and I'm going to use my angle brush and just dance it up to the top a little bit. And that's just going to give me a nice little highlight in there. Let me see. Going to be like that. Okay. Now, I want this to dry, so I'm going to take my Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm going to let this dry while I'm working on this part. You can use a glue gun if you want. I do use a glue gun a lot, but I just want to make sure that none of the little pieces are going to fall off. Sometimes, as you know, with a glue gun, the glue may not always stay stuck. So I've done my nose, I've glued it on, so I'm just going to put that over here and let that dry while I continue on with the rest. Just put my lid on the glue. I'm coming over here. Now I'm going to do the brim. We're going to do the two little dots for the eyes, but we'll wait just a little bit to do those. Now I want to soften this up. To me, this is way too dark, so I want to use a little bit of warm white. And I'm going to dry brush that a little bit just want to soften that up. I'll actually soften that up even more. Okay, then I'm going to take the warm white and I want to go along the top here. So again, just starting out from the edge dancing my brush up to the edge. Like that. Now you can take a little bit of fawn if you want and do it along here, just above where the mustache is going to be. Just kind of gives a little bit more separation between the mustache and the brim of the cap. I'm going to dry this off. Okay, now I'm going to take some asphaltum. If you don't have asphaltum, use just a really dark, rich brown. It's right here. Da, 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 da. Okay. Because we're going to do just a few of those little decorative, broken, uneven lines just around the top of this brim. And I'm gonna do them in asphaltum. You can do them in a black if you want, but I wanted to do them in asphaltum. They don't need to, you know, stand out too much. A little bit more water here. No, I just want to do a little bit along the top. Now we're going to leave this for a minute and we're going to go up to the cap part of this. Now, where the cap and the brim meet, I want to do a little bit of shading with Black Plum. I think Black Plum has been discontinued. I don't know why they're discontinuing all these great colors, but they are. So if you don't have Black Plum, you can use soft black. That works. So again, I'm just doing this above the brim here. There are some of you that might be joining me after Tracy's class. I don't usually do one on Friday mornings because I know Tracy does, but I just wanted to remedy this Santa ornament that I wasn't happy with, the class. So it'll just stay up in the group. I will be removing the other one. Okay, Black Plum was brought back or canceled. Oh, really? Do you think it was brought back, Rosemary? Now I'll have to check. I'm just going to dry this off. If you like, I'm not doing it because I didn't do it with the original one, you can take a softer red, like a Santa red or whatever, and you can lighten along the top here. I didn't do it because I did doing a lot of splattering and everything, so I didn't bother. But you can if you want. I'm going to do the fur on here now. Where's my comb? Now I'm using a comb or a rake brush. You can use your liner if you don't have one, but I'm going to use Snow White. My rake brush. Now these are, I just want to do small little fur lines, and this is for the brim of the cap. Should I get enough, wet enough? And just do really, really light, soft strokes here. And I'm going to bring it up into the red a little bit. Now, because I'm a very soft painter, this might take me a little bit longer than it will take you, but when you're doing anything like this, using the comb, using a liner, always plant your baby finger, and it'll be way easier to keep your strokes nice and even. So I always have this finger planted, and it moves with my brush. Kind of adding a few little different directions to it. And again, you can just use your liner if you want. You don't even have to do this if you want. I like it. I wanted to add a little bit of fur to it. Okay, so far, this is what we have done. See how it's starting to take shape? It's looking so good. That. Good. Now I'm just going to put both of these up there while I get my little holly. Oh, here it is. Good. Now I'm using the lamp black, the black plum again, just to shade this a little bit. So I'm shading these berries. I think I'll use my smaller angle. Now I want to separate these berries, so you can see how I'm trying to make sure I'm on camera here. I tell you, this is a little different. Do I want to go down or up? There. So you can see I've done it here like this. Like this to separate those two. And then I'm going to do, just going to go around some of the edge a little bit. It's harder to see these little ones. Now, if you find that it isn't separated enough, just add a little bit of black. I'm going to take a little bit of lamp black. And I'm going to separate these just a little bit more with it. And then use this end of my brush just to kind of that in just a little bit. Now I didn't do this with the original that I did, but I think I'm going to do it with this one. Where's my reds? Whoops. I'm going to take a little bit of True Red. And I'm going to highlight this a little bit. Better shake that a little bit. So this is True Red. I'm just going to add a little highlight of this True Red. And it's just going to shake these berries just that little bit more. I just wanted to add a little bit to it. Kind of brighten them up, help shape them a little bit more. I dry those off. I'm going to fix this one up right here. There. I'm going to dry that. And that was just with the True Red. Now I want to add just a little white. I'm going to use warm white. Come here, you. There, just to these berries. Now I'm going to do the leaf of the holly, and I'm using Hauser Medium Green. I'm going to shade, first of all, in between these two. I want to separate these two. And this is just with a little bit of the Hauser Medium Green. I'm going to do along the outside edges. Where the berries and the leaves join. I'm just kind of dancing that a little bit. A little bit more water on that brush. Okay, I'm going to dry this. Okay, well, Pam says that she checked and Black Plum is still available. So yay. I'm very happy because I really do like Black Plum. I'm just going to add a few little vein lines onto this holly, and I'm just again using the Hauser. Okay. Now we're going to do some splattering. We're going to splatter up here. We're going to splatter the holly, and we're going to do the Snow White again. I'm going to pick up a little bit. A little bit onto there. A little bit onto here. I'm going to dry that off. And I'm going to come to this, and I'm going to splatter it with the Galaxy Glitter Champagne Stardust. Oh, this one's brand new. Oh, no, I saw a little bit in this one. I'm going to use this one. So I make a blob like this. I'm just going to take out a brush. I'm going to use a toothbrush. Get it damp. Make sure you take the excess wash off or it gets all kind of gummy-ish. Pick up with my toothbrush. Oops, go there. And I'm going to cover the nose. I'm just going to cover it with my fingers because I don't want to get any of this on the nose. I'm going to splatter this on. You can also, if you want, splatter it on to the brim of the cap because they're pretty close to the same color. Just adds a little bit more interest to it. Let's see how pretty that is now. Not sure how well you can see the glitter, but yeah, see, isn't it pretty? Okay, I'm going to add a little bit to the bottom here. And again, I don't mind if it gets up here a bit because it'll be covered. Just don't want it on the face. And if you want, just cover the face a bit and you can put a little bit up on the brim of the cap. If you happen to get any on the face or on the red part, you can just use a Q-tip and lift it off. Okay. Now we're going to just start putting this all together. Okay, I took a little bit of cheesecloth just to add a little, kind of, you know, it just kind of separates this red and this red a bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit. I love working with cheesecloth. You don't need very much of it. And I rip it and pull on it and tear it and yeah, I make lots of funnies with it. It's on its way, Rosemary. All the Santas are on their way. I'm going to have to order a whole bunch more from Deb because I'm getting more orders for them. And I want to pay a bunch for my craft fair because I think these are going to be very popular for the craft fair. I'm sitting here dingle fritzing with this. I really don't need to dingle fritz this that much. And then, no, so you can use your A-Lings glue to glue this on like that. However, because it's on cheesecloth, I'm going to use my glue gun. Like that. And I'm going to just add the two little dots for the eyes. I'm just going to use my ball stylus. Sorry, I'm just checking comments. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I don't want it too big. I'm going to dry those. I don't like them just black. I like to add a little white to them. Creeps me out. They're just all black. I mean, you can change them up any way you want. Instead of doing the holly, you can put a snowflake or, you know, a star or a heart. You can add a pretty little fabric bow on it. You can add a tag. I'm going to add some tags. I might even take a little bit of cheesecloth and add a little bit here and there on his beard when I do it. You can just add like lots of little different things, right? So I'm going to take my other ball stylus and I'm going to take my white. One eye seems bigger than the other, which will drive me crazy. Okay. Like that. I'm just going to take a little bit of this twine. Oh, here. The one that came with the kit. Stick it through. Again, I did include this with the kit, but use anything you want. Now I'm going to glue the mustache and beard on. Now when you do it, make sure you look right on it. Don't, you know, be looking from the down up. Look straight on so that you know that it is on exactly right. I'm just going to move this down so that I make sure I have it on. Perfect. There. There's our Santa. Isn't he adorable? So there. This will dry. The sticky glue doesn't take very long to dry. It's very quick. So I'm just going to leave him there. I'm going to bring this the camera up to me. Rotate your phone. Hi. I better move back, otherwise you just got this big head staring at you. Thanks, everybody. Again, I'm upside down. Why am I upside down? Just a minute. Rotate your phone. That is so funny. Okay. I cannot wait to get mine. He's so adorable. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, this guy is actually a lot of fun to do. As you can see, it took me an hour and I'm explaining it all to you as I'm doing it. So once you've made one, it actually goes very, very fast. You can, like I said, so this is one of the ones I've finished. Instead of doing this, if you think, oh, I don't really a holly fan, you can do snowflake, star, heart. You can even do your own little fabric bow. You can add a little tag. You can add little pieces of cheesecloth if you want on the beard here and there, just to kind of make it, you know, add that little bit more of a detail to it. He's super cute and he's super fun to do. So I hope that you will enjoy doing him. If you have any questions, you can let me know. I am removing the other video lesson for this because this is the one you should watch. I'm just going to get... My sister's going to yell at me. She's going to say, look, everybody's going to see that you're in your comfy pajamas. I just use them as comfies. Anyway, this is the lesson we're going to be doing on Thursday. We're going to be doing the, no, it's not. Where's my mind? See, there goes my mind. This is the lesson we're doing February. This is the Christmas ornament for February that we're doing. So if you haven't ordered yours already, I of course do have some. I just keep restocking all these ornaments. This is the stocking one. He's actually quite big. You can see he's like the size of my pretty little head. Thursday is the Christmas blocks. I'm going to be showing you how to do those one way. I mean, you can do them any color you want. There's just a million different things that you can do with these blocks. I'm just doing them, showing you the one way that I know how to do them. For those that have ordered more than one, and there were a lot of you, it's kind of nice because you can do them the way that I did them first and then go, pardon me. I think I'd like to, you know, add this or try this or do these colors or, you know, it's just really there are so many different ways you can do them. I'm seeing if our little Santa is finished. I don't want him to slide. So this is the one we just finished. He's so adorable. This is the one that we did before. Now I have 3 of these. I am actually going to be giving away one of these. During next Thursday's class for the people that are watching live. From or on Zoom. So I'll just be drawing names from the people. So one of you will receive a Santa ornament from me. Again, it is at 5:30. Thursday's lesson is at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time here in the group. We are, I'm trying something different. So I'm opening the Zoom room for those who want to join us on Zoom for, you know, little chit chat, socializing. We're going to be doing that from about 10 or 15 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes before the scheduled start time. So around 10 after 5, quarter after 5, I'm going to come on and Zoom. You can join me there. We'll be chit-chatting, whatever. Then at 5:30, everyone will be muted and it will just be me giving the lesson. If anybody on Zoom has any questions, of course, they can unmute themselves and ask. This is so that the Zoom class will go faster because it can slow it down quite a bit when we're doing a lot of talking. And the East Coast people, I don't want you sitting up too late. So I just want everything to be done. I just want the classes to go faster, but I still want to do all that socializing that we really like to do and really enjoy. So that's why I'm going to be opening it up earlier so that we can still have that. So 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, that's 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. If you want to join me on Zoom, I'll be open at 10 after 5, and we can come on and we can have our little chit-chat session. So I hope you will join me. Also, Deb Paints Whimsy on Tuesday, again at 5:30. It'll be live. I'm not going to have a Zoom class for it. It's just going to be live. So I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much. I will be now deleting the other one that's in there. I'm also going to be putting Um, uh, yeah, it makes for a better replay. Yeah, Deanna just mentioned that when you're watching it back all the time, you don't need, people, you don't really necessarily want to hear all the chitter chatter each time. So it'll just make for a much, much better replay when it's just me doing the actual lesson. I think that's it. I will see everybody on hopefully Tuesday in Deb Paints Whimsy, Thursday here in Deb Simply Rustic. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay warm and stay safe. Talk to you later. Bye.